All right, let's get right into it. You know that feeling when simple things like getting up out of a chair or carrying in the groceries just feel heavier than they used to? Well, it's not just in your head. There is a very real biological reason for it. And today we're going to break down exactly what's happening and, most importantly, what you can do about it.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? We kind of just accept that this slow decline is a normal part of getting older. We might even joke about it. But underneath those jokes, there's a real concern. So what's really going on under the hood? Let's dig into the science. Get a load of this number, 3 to 8%. That's how much muscle mass we can lose every single decade after we turn 30. Yeah, you heard that right. It starts way earlier than most of us think. And after 60, that rate can speed up even more. It's a quiet process, one you don't really notice day to day, but it adds up, believe me. And this process, it has a name, sarcopenia. And just listen to that translation, poverty of the flesh. How powerful is that? It just perfectly captures what's happening. Our body is literally becoming poorer in the very tissue that keeps us strong and vital. This isn't about vanity, it's about the engine of our health. But, and this is the most important thing you'll hear today, this is not a one-way street. Sarcopenia is not some unavoidable fate. The science is absolutely clear. With the right game plan, you can fight back. You can maintain, you can rebuild, and you can actually restore the strength you thought was gone for good. So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to really understand the problem. Then, we'll dive into the three-pillar solution: fuel, activate, and optimize. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple daily action plan you can start using right away. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, part one, the problem. We have to be super clear about why this is such a big deal. Losing muscle isn't just about not being able to open a stubborn jar. It has some really profound effects on our overall health and how long we live.
You can see the domino effect right here. When you have less muscle, you have less stability. That leads to a much higher risk of falls and fractures. It tanks your metabolism, which makes managing your weight a whole lot harder. It even affects how well your body can fight off other illnesses. And this last point, it's a big one. It's a leading predictor of early death. So protecting our muscle is literally protecting our future. All right, now that we understand the stakes, let's talk solutions. Pillar number one, fuel. You can't build a house without bricks and mortar. And for our muscles, that main building material is protein. But as we get older, it's not as simple as just eating more protein. We've got to be smarter about it. So here's the big hurdle we have to get over. It's called anabolic resistance. The best way to think about it is that your muscles get a little hard of hearing. Your food is sending the signal to grow and repair, but your muscles just aren't hearing that message as clearly as they did when you were younger. And you can see the difference right here. A younger muscle is super sensitive to protein. A little bit goes a long way. But an older muscle, it's sluggish. The signal is weak. That means we have to send a much louder, clearer signal to get the same muscle-building result. So how do we do that? We do it with this stuff, leucine. Leucine is a special kind of amino acid, and it's basically the ignition key for muscle growth. It's not just a building block. It's the foreman on the job site that screams, "All right, crew, let's get to work." To beat that anabolic resistance, we need to make sure every meal has enough of this ignition key to start the engine. So what does that actually look like on your plate? Well, the science points to a target of about 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. You can just look at this chart for a quick reference, find your weight, and there's your daily target. The trick is to hit this number consistently and spread it out across the day to keep that build signal firing. And here's a fun fact. Certain cheeses are like a secret weapon for this. Ricotta is packed with whey, which is a fast-acting protein, perfect for right after a workout or a walk. Cottage cheese is mostly casein, a super slow-releasing protein that's ideal for right before bed to feed your muscles overnight. And Parmesan, it's a powerhouse of that ignition key, leucine. And don't sleep on spinach. Turns out Popeye was onto something. It's not just about the protein here, it's also loaded with nitrates. And nitrates help improve blood flow. Think of it as upgrading the plumbing so you can deliver all those good nutrients and oxygen to your muscles more efficiently. Okay, so we've got the fuel. Now we need to give that fuel a job to do. And that brings us to pillar number two, activate. All the protein in the world won't build muscle unless you send a clear signal to your muscles that they need to get stronger. Now, when it comes to exercise, we want the most bang for our buck. And that's where compound exercises come in. Look at the difference. A bicep curl works, well, your bicep. But one squat, that works your glutes, your quads, your core, multiple huge muscle groups all at once. For building real-world strength, compound movements are a no-brainer.
And the formula here is actually pretty simple. You do not need to live in the gym. 2 to 3 good sessions a week is all it takes to send that powerful growth signal. Just pick a handful of these compound exercises. But here's the secret sauce. You have to work hard enough. The end of each set should feel challenging, like you only have a couple more reps left in the tank. That's the trigger for growth.
Now, if you want to turn up the volume on those workouts, that's where something like creatine can help. It's one of the most researched supplements on the planet. And to be clear, creatine doesn't build muscle by itself. What it does is help you fight off fatigue, so you can push out that one extra rep or add a little more weight. It's that extra work that leads to bigger gains over time.
All right, let's bring it all home with our third and final pillar, the one that ties everything together: optimize. Your diet and your workouts are crucial, but they exist inside the larger system of your daily life, and optimizing that system is what makes all this stuff stick. And we're talking about simple but incredibly powerful habits. A daily walk keeps your muscles turned on. Always taking the stairs gives you these little micro doses of resistance work. It helps you avoid what one expert calls bungalow legs, the weakness that comes from living on one level. And sleep? That is non-negotiable. That is when your body actually does the repair and rebuilding. It's prime time for muscle growth.
Okay, so we've covered our 3 pillars: fuel, activate, and optimize. Now, let's put it all together into a simple daily game plan so you can see what this looks like in the real world. Here's just a sample of how you could weave all this into your day. You could start your morning with some movement, that brisk walk, and then refuel with some fast-acting ricotta. Later in the day, you do your strength workout and have a meal with some of that leucine-rich Parmesan. And finally, before bed, you set yourself up for overnight repair with some slow-release cottage cheese. See, it's a simple rhythm that constantly tells your body we are in rebuilding mode. This might be the best way to think about this whole thing. Your muscles are like a bank account for your strength. Exercise is a withdrawal, a necessary one that tells the bank it needs to get stronger. And the right food, that's the deposit. The goal is simple: end every single day with a positive balance in your account. And that really brings us to the bottom line. Look, we can't stop aging. The clock is going to keep ticking. But everything we've talked about today proves that how we age is very much in our hands. The weakness, the frailty, that slow decline, it doesn't have to be your story. With the right strategy and consistent action, decline is absolutely optional.